Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to Business, the Art of Winning. And today's workshop is going to be all about negotiation. The art of negotiation. We all have to do that, right? And it's sponsored by our program, Winning Relationship Selling. This is a fantastic Dale Carnegie product, by the way. We're running a program here in Brisbane on the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd of April. So if you want to be part of that program, book in. It is a brilliant program. Now, a lot of people go, well, I'm not a salesperson. Everyone sells. Everyone sells. And we're going to talk a little bit about negotiation. So in our Carnegie Academy, so for those who have attended our Unstoppable Leaders workshop, you know that the Carnegie Academy is usually what we call bronze, silver, and gold. And our gold package always has winning relationship selling. Now, I have a lot of executives, MDs, owners do that program. And a lot of them will say to me, I'm not a salesperson, Will. I said, oh, yeah, sure. And the reality is that we all sell or we all buy. And so you need to know how to negotiate. So you need to understand the back room of a really effective salesperson so that you are able to follow them and also make sure that you're getting the best deal for the organization. So I think all buyers should do sales training so they know what the techniques are of great salespeople and also average salespeople, people who actually haven't covered all those bases so that you can make an informed buying decision. Now, on the opposite of that, it's interesting, big contracts, big deals, ongoing business, it's all sales. And anybody who runs a company should know how to close, should know how to gain a commitment from a client. So we're going to talk a little bit about the art of negotiation. So that is our winning relationship selling program on the 21st, 22nd, 23rd of April. Come and join us here in Brisbane. So negotiation, what is a negotiation? So just to talk a little bit about our negotiation principles, you'll find those to be principle 10 to 21, which is gain enthusiastic cooperation. But the 10 to 21 principles of Dale Carnegie's philosophies are all part of negotiation. Things like don't get into an argument. The only way to win an argument is to avoid an argument. When you're wrong, admit it quickly and emphatically. Try honestly, look from the other person's point of view. Let the other person feel the idea is theirs, get the other person to do a great deal of talking. These are all negotiation principles. How to get people to collaborate, how to get people to really be on board. But in the sales context, these principles are diamonds because they help you when you are trying to get the best out of a negotiation where two people have their own points of view and somehow you've got to collaborate and meet in the middle. So the art of negotiation, first of all, there is some steps. The first step is to build rapport. People buy off people that they trust. And somewhere in the negotiation, there has to be a large amount of trust because one person is going to have a product or service. The other person is going to have money. Okay, both are energy. Okay, they have different forms, but we're going to require a collaboration somewhere along the line. Okay, so when I think about get the other person to do a great deal of talking, which is one of Dale Carnegie's principle 15. Get the other person do a great deal of the talking. In fact, there's an old saying that he who talks the most or he who talks first loses the negotiation. But I'm not too sure about that. But at the end of the day, you want the other person doing a great deal of the talking. Why? So a lot of people approached me over my last 30 years and said, look, Will, I've got a master's degree, or I've got a PhD. I'd love to come and work for you as a trainer. And I'm always open to talent. In fact, talent is something that's really important, more important now than any other time. And so if someone is willing to come up to me, have a chat and say, hey, look, Will, I think I can make a fantastic Dale Carnegie trainer, I will at least listen to them. I will at least ask them a few questions and give them the respect and time to tell me why they think they should do that. Now, here's my point. A lot of these higher end educators, they are used to presentations, and that is data, graphs, case studies, philosophy, which are all incredibly important. But what makes Dale Carnegie processes so valuable is the ability to facilitate our material. In fact, I say to my trainers, you're the discovery channel, not the information channel. Your job is to help people discover the truth. Now, you have to have the truth, or you have to have a truth or a concept or a model that is actually in good stead. In other words, right, or as right as it can be today until new knowledge changes it. And so that's great. You need to know what that is, but you've got to get people to come around to discovering it for themselves. Because if they can discover it for themselves, it's not just intellectual, it's emotional. And if it's got those two elements, your memory increases, so you're more likely to remember the concept because you came up with it, and also it creates a collaborative approach. So if there are other people in the learning process with you, it's not just you involved, it's more of the collective gets involved, and it holds information much more effectively in our psyche and our memory. We energize, we have that ability to, have that emotional connect with the information. And so when you get people to do the great deal of talking, say if you're taking a Dale Carnegie program, I think Dale Carnegie discovered that very early. When people discover the truth for themselves, they own it. And it's the same with negotiation, right? So if you're talking all the time, like I am on this podcast, I'm the only one participating. You're participating as a listener. But in this particular, it's one-way traffic, right? I'm doing all the talking. So how do I know my audience is engaged? How do I know that the other person's taking on my message? And look, when it's a high value item, I need them to take it intellectually. I need them to see an ROI. In other words, hey, is there a good buying criteria? Does it meet my considerations? Does it fit my dominant reason for purchasing or taking on this particular service? What's my risk versus reward? Now, all buyers go through this process. It might not be as formal as the one I've just outlined, but there's something that's going on. Hey, what do I think? Why do I think it? Is this a good deal? Why is it a good deal? How's it going to help me? Could I get it cheaper? Is there a more cost-effective way of doing the same thing? All those things are going on in the mind of the buyer. Your job is to understand the mind of the buyer. And the only way you can do that in an effective negotiation is ask questions. So my mother told me not to be nosy. It's not going to work in negotiations. You have to be nosy. You have to want to know. You have to ask questions. And then when you don't understand the answer, ask more questions. Now, one of my favorite movies in the early, I think it was 80s, was when Denzel Washington was pretty new in the scene. And it was Tom Hanks, a young Tom Hanks. So it was called The Philadelphia. And it was all about, Tom Hanks was actually, he had AIDS and he was dying and he got fired. And Denzel Washington, he was the advocate, he was the lawyer. And he was talking to Tom Hanks. And one of the lines I've used ever since I heard it, talk to me like I was a sixth grader. In other words, use simple language. Talk to me like I can really understand. Talk to me like it's really simple. Talk to me like I'm in the sixth grade. I need that clarity. And so when you think about your negotiation, think about the other person's point of view. What is the language that you want to use? Make it simple, make it clear, and you have to understand what their motive is. What is it that they want? Why do they want it? What do you think their walkaway point is? Okay, will it be financial? Okay, what do you think their buying criteria? Could I make terms attractive to them, or could I make it a more cost-effective project if they buy now? So before you go into any negotiation, do your research. Find out who you're going to be dealing with, what their background is. It's so easy today. You just check on LinkedIn, Facebook, or whatever it is. And if they're a high-profile person, you'll get some information about them. Here's something else that I do. If I'm sitting in reception, and I'm always early for a meeting, absolutely always. I'll go and talk to the reception. I'll ask questions. Hi, my name is William Farmer. I'm from XYZ company. You're obviously the director of First Impressions. That usually gets a bit of a smile. Hey, look, I'm meeting with your MD, and we're going to be talking about a few things that can really help the company. How long have you been here with the organization? Oh, you've been here for 10 years. So what is Jim like? Is he been a great boss to work for? Yeah. I looked online. I know a little bit about your products. Yeah. Is it a family business? Is it? Oh, Jim's father, he set the company up. All right. So he's second generation. Oh, fantastic. And I'll actually ask, and if you do it in a very conversational way, a lot of the time people are really happy to give you that information. Now, sometimes you'll get a new person on the counter, you're not going to get that back. You're not going to get that much information. But what I'm saying is there are tons of resources where you can know who you're talking to. And the more that you know who you're talking to, maybe you can prepare your questioning. You can start to see what their motives are, and you can tie some of that questioning around those motives. So that's the next thing. Know your product, know how your product serves the other person, know your customer, seek them out, because I guarantee you, if it's a really big deal, they've seeked you out. The amount of times I've walked in to a negotiation and the person will go, "Hey, Will, I really checked out your profile. Is it really carrots to Washington?" Now, that was an article done by a journalist about 15 years ago, and yet I'll still hear it. Yeah, actually, yeah. When I was in high school, my teacher said, "Well, if you don't do well in your education, you'll be picking carrots like all the other kids." And that was actually meant to be a detriment. Actually, some of the carrot pickers that I knew, who are my friends, are really incredibly wealthy. Maybe I should have gone down that direction. But my point is that, hey, it's all on the web. You know, our privacy, as we know, has definitely been diminishing, and it seems to be diminishing every year. So they probably checked you out. So check them out. And then break it down. Break it down. Why would they want my product? What is about my product that's really good? You know, what is the price points my competitors might have? Okay, what are my competitive rates to meet those competitive price points? And now here's the number one question that you should always ask yourself in a negotiation. What is my walk away point? By the way, that works in personal life too. What is my walk away point? If you don't know what your walk away point, you may win and then lose. You know, some of the deals that I regret the most are the ones where I've cut my margins so thin that I'm feeling in my heart I've let myself down, I've let my team down, and I've let my company down. Sure, we've got cash flow and maybe a little bit of profit, but trade of time and effort with somebody who fully appreciates what we do, you know, that's not a good deal. It's not a good deal. So make sure you know what your walk away point is, and make sure you walk away when you hit your walk away point. Here's the other thing too. A negotiation's never over. In fact, I'm getting married soon, to a beautiful lady called Dawn. And so a real example. So we wanted to get married in April, but for whatever reason, with friends and that that wanted to attend it, we had to push our dates up. And so we're getting married on the 7th of May. And the venue, it's a sad day. And look, because, you know, I only wanted a small group, say about 35. And Saturday's being a prime time for most weddings. The venue said, look, we can't take you on the Saturday. We can give you the Friday, we'll give you the Sunday, but you can't take the Saturday because you've only got around about 35 people. And we need 65 minimum. Now, I've actually worked with this organisation before, and I knew Shirley. She's a lovely lady. And so I thought, well, what do they want? Well, they want more money. Okay, so extra 30 is $3K, you know, $100 a head. So I thought, well, you know what? Because I do work with them and they know me, this is what I'll do. I'll talk in terms of their interest. So I rang Shirley. Hey, Shirley, how you going? She said, oh, yeah, good. Well, good to hear from you. I said, hey, I want you to do my wedding. She goes, yeah, I know. So I've given you those 3 options. I said, I want the middle one. She said, oh, well, that's going to be too tough on us. As I mentioned, we take 65. That's going to go like that. The only reason why that date's available is someone just pulled out like last week. And I said, I want that date, Shirley. And she says, yeah, I know. I just can't give it to you at 35. And I said, hey, I've thought about it. This is what I can do. I will get, I'll go to 45, right? And I'll pay whether they turn up or not. All right. So that gives you an extra $1,000. Now you're going to be down $2,000. So this is what I'm going to do. I've got a program coming up in the next 3 months. And it's a 3-day program. And, you know, obviously we've worked together in the past. There's more than enough to compensate for what you're going to lose. I'll make sure it's on days that you have nothing. Then it's a win-win. She said, oh, well, that's an interesting offer. Yeah, I said, yeah. Look, no pressure, but maybe 12 o'clock. If you could get back to us, We probably will have to look at an alternative because we really are set on that date. But, you do the maths and think about it. Anyway, she rang me dead on 12 o'clock. Well, we're going to take it. Now, when we were working with her salesperson, that deal was gone. It was non-negotiable. But it's always up for negotiation. There's always another way to deal with things. Okay, what was my walk away? I actually gave my walk away. My day was the 7th of May. That's it. That was my walk away. What was her walk away? She knew she needed another $3,000. She didn't want to lose that $3,000. So if she could see a way of getting it might be delayed, plus it's more business because more people coming into her venue is more free advertising. So she was probably thinking from that angle as well. Plus, I'm a customer. So as long as I could leverage from one deal to the next deal, then she's probably going to get the opportunity for ongoing business as well. She's going to keep me happy as a customer. She's also going to win on the day, and long-term she'll win down the track. Now, that's not the deal that she was saying no to. The deal was 65 on the Saturday. But you know what? Because I thought from her point of view, I knew her, I talked in terms of her relationship, and it wasn't by accident I said, hey, just let us know by 12 o'clock. If we can't have the day, then we'll probably have to look at other options. Now, that was a pressure point, okay? Now, that could or could not have been true, okay? She does not know that. Okay, so that was my walk away. That was my walk away line. So I hope you've enjoyed the workshop today. Oh, sorry, I mean the podcast. I'm so used to workshops. I hope you've enjoyed the podcast today. It's been sponsored by our Winning Relationship Selling Program. We'll be running that on April the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. Come and join us. Don't get hooked on that you're not a salesperson. We all sell. I remember when Isabella was only 4 years old. She's now a beautiful girl of 17. When she was 4 years old, I've never met anyone so strong in negotiation. Dad, no was just a suggestion. And I'm sure we've all had maybe children on our, whether we're parents or we've got nieces and nephews. If you just observe them, they are powerful negotiators. They all know their walk-away point. They don't have one. Okay, so it's been great working with you. William Farmer, Business, the Art of Winning. Until next time, enjoy your life, enjoy your time, enjoy your day.